Here we are, SailGP Auckland. So stoked to be here. It's our hometown, and the boats this time have the new T-foils that SailGP have been working on for years, and we were lucky enough to be involved in a small part of that, making the tips for these foils. It's been a great development project. We've learned tons, worked with Paul Beaker, some of the best boat builders in the world, Ben Hanley, Mark, the whole team here, just crazy push to get all these boats on the water. They got new boats this year. They've got 12 boats for the season. We've been involved in supplying the wing foil gear for the SailGP Inspire program for a few years now. But the T-foils, that's right up our alley, and it's going to be epic to see how they go with these new foils. So we're here with Paul Beaker. So Paul is the brainchild for, you know, this thing that we're looking at, which is the new light air board. Like as a class, like when you first, you know, set up the AC boats, did you ever think you'd see 12 of them in a fleet race?
No,
Like,
no, it wasn't what I was imagining. I was sort of hoping that they would continue with the boats, you know.
in the AC, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's amazing what they've done. So, and I guess the fleet racing, like I've been to a few of the events, and it's so exciting as a spectator to have so many boats. I mean, super intense for the sailors and also, you know, the boat builders because of all the issues involved.
The courses are small and the boats are going real fast, so it's a full-on challenge. Which is a big part of what this tip is about, is because we build one of these foils and they're pretty expensive components and they're pretty strong components, and this part of the foil is the part that sticks out from the side of the boat when you're sailing, so it's the part that's most likely to hit something, you know, in collisions. And so we designed this to fail at a lower load than the board would fail. So hopefully, you know, it takes the abuse and we save the board.
And the big thing, as Paul mentioned, is that means then you can take the screws out. There's some screws under some glue here. You can pull this thing off and then put another one on and literally be sailing the next day. Whereas if you wrote off, you know, the other part of this foil is going to be a bit longer than that before you're sailing again.
Yeah. About 200 millimeters bigger span. And so when I did the tip, I took the opportunity to shorten it because you know, it increases the takeoff speed a little bit because span is super important for takeoff, not so important when you're up and running.
Yeah.
So we gave up a little bit of takeoff for a safer tip that can absorb some abuse.
These guys have been developing the T-foils for years, literally years. Awesome to work with these guys and make these tips. And so we've got two different shapes. We've got the light air board, which is a higher aspect foil for the lighter wind. And we've got the LAB, which is a lower aspect foil for going faster. And two different shapes. And yeah, we've made this tip and it's all been made to fit onto these beautiful pieces of foil technology here. So yeah, a little bit bigger than one of ours. This is a DW755. Similar family of foil sections because we want, you know, lift at lower speed but then good top end. And this kind of, we call this kind of a more boat foil section, which tends to have a lot of camber on the bottom. So each of these boats has two foil sets, so one on each hull, and they go up and down depending on which tack the boats are on. The boys have to make up two full foil sets, vertical and T-foil per boat. So 12 boats this season, which is 24 sets of foil, so it's quite a bit of work. These boys have been sanding these things for weeks. What do you use for that?
Sandpaper, I just sanded it for 3 days.
Just 3 days sanding to buff this out. Oh, great job, man. This is looking sick. Check out these curves. This is cool. So these are the new Paul Beaker elevators. Nothing to do with us, but just looking at them because they are such beautiful objects.